Whoop, 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 whoop.
Hello.
Whoop, 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 whoop.
Happy Valentine's Day.
Whoop, 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 whoop. It's been a very, very long day.
We are, Mick. We're on time. We're a bit early
It's
for
been
us.
a very hello. It's been a very long day, and I think today you're witnessing a slide into insanity rather than any kind of. Oh, it's in my bag. It's in my bag. 1 minute. I haven't sorted out the stationery situation.
Someone keeps stealing my pen.
We're down to 1 pen. We have to share. Do I have another one in here? No. I mean, this is about as professional as I get. Also, no. I might have to move to get a pen out of the bag.
Oh, where's the bag?
It's there, but it's like
God.
heavy.
So right, okay. No, I'll drag it.
All right.
Wait a minute.
This is 3 years of extra footage you guys are getting. 3 minutes of extra footage.
Nearly fell off the chair. Oh God, we're so settled as well with my cushion and everything. Oh dear.
You have the pen.
Thank you. Oh.
It's gone yellow. Well, hello, yellow. Insane. I think this is how the lobster first ended up in my head. Insane live stream, Paul. This is going to be good, lol, says Mick the Machine.
Porn.
Paul.
Oh, sorry.
Paul. Almost identical in every important respect, apart from the letters and the meaning.
Sorry.
You put a lobster in Lemmy, see what happens if she walks off with it. No, she doesn't like that. She's made that perfectly clear. So, it's past. I have spent all day from I've spent about 9 hours facilitating a workshop, and it's not a workshop that's just and now you talk. It's a workshop where I was constantly talking and clicking and thingying. So the brain has pretty much been consumed. Good evening, sanguinary people guard. Good evening, people I am somewhat associated with.
It can't be just 2 months, can it?
Feels
like we've known Mr. Guard a lot longer than that.
He's been a regular in the chat, but I think it was one of the gifted memberships that he joined up with. Hello. So yes. So
Sir?
at the moment,
Sir?
What?
Sir?
What did I say?
I'm just looking at Joe's comment.
Okay. So, I've got dust on my nurgling.
Not a metaphor.
Or is it? Also, yes. Right, I now have a dusted nurgling. Way!
Nice and shiny.
Oh no, I've missed a bit. Gotta have a clean nurgling. Gotta buff your nurgling. So yes, for those of you who don't know, tiredness has a similar effect on me to intoxication. So this is the closest you're ever likely to get to seeing me inebriated. Unless I have a dramatic change of lifestyle and not too well at some point. Excuse me. Still no sponsorship. So, standard format is to talk about this last week in hobby, then talk about the ramble subject, whilst my glamorous assistant is taking questions and will say when I go to form a coherent what's it, and then we do Q's and A's at the end. She's shaking her head already.
I'm not. I'm just Q's and A's.
You ain't seen nothing yet. So today's ramble subject is bartering away your mortal soul, a seller's guide. To the chaos gods. Sorry, bartering your soul to the chaos gods, a seller's guide. So we'll ramble about that in a little while. What has happened this last week? Well, I'm going to talk about it because most of what this week has been her fault. I mean, Crimson has led on and I've just been involved. So there's that. So what's happened hobby-wise this week that I've actually been involved? Well, I've done what did I do on Sunday? What did I do on Friday? I've been building a bunch of did we stream last week? We did. Built a bunch of Head of Knights of Slanesh because I had the box open, was building those. Off the back of the activity from last week where I worked out what the games are going to be for the Siege of Excelsis campaign on the channel. Big Bad Peter Gaming gifted a Say Hi Paul membership.
Thank you, Big Bad Peter.
Thank you.
I'm sure lobsters don't make that noise.
Only if you ply them with sangria.
And they're wearing a sombrero.
Don't be silly.
Oh, right. Okay. Of course.
Yes. So did some building of that. Then I moved on to... So I took some of what I'd done from last week and then worked out an order in which I have to build and paint everything. I'd kind of done that before, but I expanded on it. And worked out what order I needed to build things in, because some things had to be built really quite quickly, and some things I had to build for a long time. So I think it was Saturday evening I sat and built a whole bunch of Stormcast Eternals, some Paladins, some Justicars.
Is that because your brain were dead because I'd been making you work all day?
Yep. With no way
it was.
With no way I was doing any anything that was thought related. I put the same thing on the TV that I've been watching on repeat for about 3 weeks. Excuse me. And then just like knitting with plastic. And built those. Sunday, there was something I ended up doing in the morning, and I can't remember what it was or why. But the afternoon, I did a whole bunch of work on my Astral Templars prosecutors. I've got a batch on the desk at the minute with a unit of 9 prosecutors, a Lord Vexilor, and a Lord something else. A Knight Vexilor and Knight Azeros. They're the flappy knights. And I'm doing them as a batch because of doing the wings. Oh, the man Moog! Hey Moog!
is in the house.
Moog has gifted 5 Say Hi Paul memberships.
Moog, you absolute star.
Legend double lobster for Moog.
All the lobsters for Moog. All of them. All of them. Get them all on.
Oh dear.
Come on.
I'm working on it. But it's a lobster sandwich. 5 times the lobster.
Yay! Double lobster.
So
Thanks, Moog.
thank you, sir. And yes, I was doing those as a batch, and it turns out that they were a lot longer a batch to do than I'd anticipated. I used the Legend Duncan's painting guide from like 8 years ago to how to paint prosecutor wings. So I was working on that, and I adapted it a little bit for my lack of talent. So I changed it from layering and highlighting to dry brushing. But even so, it took forever, and I didn't get them all done. I'd hoped to get them all done because I've got a bunch of gloom spike kits I have to paint by a week Friday. But I'll get them done by hook or by crook. Interesting fact, that expression comes from gathering wood on lordly land. You could remove any piece of wood that you were able to gather by hook or by crook. Loose firewood.
Can I just ask really quickly, is this the Tom that we met on Saturday?
Oh, you're asking him?
Yeah, well, I'm asking you if you know.
I don't know.
Tom, are you the Tom that we met on Saturday that gave me a very lovely compliment, I must say? But are you that Tom? Just a quick yes or a no would be fab.
We've got a membership question from Big Bad Peter Gaming. When will we see you in a game with Winters? No plans at the minute.
Oh, right. Okay, sorry. Unfortunately not. All right, Tom. Thank you. Just somebody came to see us on Saturday called Tom, and he was very, very lovely. And I just wondered if it were you. That's all. So, not that you're not very, very lovely, because I bet you are. But anyway.
Nothing currently in the diary with the Mr. Winters. Not deliberately nothing in the diary, just nothing happens to be in the diary with Mr. Winters. And it is in the back of my mind to catch up with them at some point soon. Both so busy.
We have got to get in contact with him, because last time he was here when we did the Q&A with him, he said that he would have a game of AOS with me.
He did?
So we do need to get hold of him and watch how that pans out. So yeah.
So a bunch of painting on my prosecutors. Only got about, I reckon I've probably got about 5 hours left in them, which is going to be, I'm going to have to go some to get them finished, then do the gloom spike, because I've got stuff going on. Parents visiting this weekend, and then there's other stuff happening later on. So got a bunch of things I got to do. But so I did some work on prosecutors. Now on Saturday, what did we do, Crimson?
What did we do? We went to Sanctuary Games, and we were looking at a date for an event. Were we not?
Yes, a date and logistics and
so
all the Q's and all the A's.
So we've been so I was all day sort of planning that, really. So we decided on a date of the 27th and 28th of May, and it's for an AOS event at Sanctuary Games over the weekend. So we that's what we did.
And what's it going to be called?
Yes.
It is called, drum roll. Do you want me to say it?
Yeah, you can say it. You say it. It's absolutely fine. Do you want me to say it?
Yeah.
Okay, then. It's called The Crimson Conflux.
Dun, dun, dun.
Dun, dun, dun.
So it's going to be.
And it's a mashup of.
Oh.
It's not a double act if you don't speak.
Okay. A mashup. Well, it's AOS. It's an unfaction restricted AOS narrative event. That is what it is. But we've got a lot of planning to do.
We've got a lot of planning to do. We've got a logo. The logo's in Discord if anybody wants to have a look. I don't know whether there's been any comments on the logo. I've not had a look at that, but yeah.
They can't reply in the channel we posted it.
Right, okay. So we've got a logo, we've got a date, and we've got a semi-plan.
Semi-plan?
Semi-plan. We've got a name. Yeah, go on, sorry.
Something. Semi, something.
Yeah, we've got a semi-plan. I've been working out all the logistics of it, really. I've been working out the food side. Now that'll surprise you. The food side of it, and also the accommodation, and seeing if I can get any anything cheap or free. Yeah, thank you. There's a post from Paul Worth. Is that about this?
No, I think that's a typo. I think it's for to say Paul with.
Oh, right, okay.
So Tom Bolton, I think, is trying to get into Discord. If you go onto the channel page and go to the community section, which has got all the posts and things in it, one around about Sangregard is saying about 14 or so down the way has the link to the Discord in it.
Yeah, so if anybody's interested, they say they are interested in staying overnight, and so I've been working all that out, seeing if I can get some cheaper rates, really.
Hotels.
Yeah, so the tickets will come on sale pretty soon. And I sort of say only, but we have 24 tickets. So that's what we have. So it's on a first come, first served basis. So hopefully we'll sell the tickets. And the tickets also include food as well. So I'm going to be putting some posts on there about hot food, cold food, whatever food we want, really. But that's going to be included in the price of the ticket for Saturday and Sunday. So I'll put some information on there as soon as we know how to take payment.
Details.
Yeah.
So what was quite interesting is when we went down on Saturday, there was an event on, and it was Mikey from Hellstorm running what looked like some kind of 40k event, and there were trophies, so it looked like it was a tournament of some sort.
And there's a tannoy. I can't wait. Nothing to do with the game. Just I says I can use it.
A microphone.
And yeah, it's fabulous. So yeah.
AOS players, your lunch is ready.
Yeah. And we've also booked a little room if anybody's been to Sanctuary Games. We've also booked one of the little office rooms at the back that we can put all our bits in. Am I boring you?
Never.
Okay, that we can put all our bits in and we can leave them overnight securely, just for anybody who wants to. So, yeah.
Double plus good.
That's it.
So, yeah, that's hobby-wise what we've been up to, isn't it?
Yep. Mm-hmm.
Okay, so...
Busy.
So, the main event. So... You've decided to sell your soul to chaos. There's no brochure. The individuals are generally pretty unhelpful. If you want to ask a past user, there are no reviews. You don't get stars or anything. You just hear burblings like doesn't care from where the blood flows, or something like that. But then you tend to have your spleen removed through your ear, so it's a little bit more awkward.
Just before you start, Tom's put a comment in earlier on, and he says, this topic is fairly timely, as I've just finished Angel Exterminatus, and that covers a certain transformation / gift bestowment ceremony.
Yeah, something to do with leeching the soul of your brother into an evil gem, then eating it and turning into a demon, but not quite, because otherwise they'd have to write out a character who survived.
Love life.
Moog, member for 27 months says, how apt I'm painting Dark Angels. Now. Painting Dark Angels now. So let's take a look through this virtual brochure and the experience you can expect by selling your soul, not only in the mortal realms, but probably in the grim darkness of the far future as well. So, the first and most obvious one that people will always think of, Slaanesh. Who doesn't want a patron with 8 nipples? However, the constant desire for every individual element of life being a riot of excess and party. It's a good brochure. It's a good brochure, but be aware. Be very aware. It gets old quickly. Before you know it, watching pink and rainbow striped baboons running across the horizon, tap dancing the fandango, whilst kneecapping you with silver toast forks, it loses its luster. At one point, it's it's incredibly inviting, but then after a little while, it's just a Tuesday. You're like, rainbow baboons again, and it's the toaster forks again. How dull. Everything gets very old very quickly. Then all of a sudden, you discover things like, what if I jump into a vat of broken glass in my bare feet? Well, hey, that's a riot. And then you start doing the grape crushing ceremony in the glass vat. But very soon, very quickly, it gets very old again. And it's a Tuesday once again. But not only does it get very old, and then you think, well, I've enjoyed all these excesses. I don't think there's any other fleshly or worldly pursuit I can particularly think of. And you think, I know, I'm going to get into horticulture. What I think I'll do is I think I will splice a Sylvaneth branch witch with a pork sandwich and see what happens, see how it grows, and tending the garden where all the plants, all the trees are fed with tears and the blood of wildebeests in order to make them grow all sensational and make once every 3 years the perfect souffle. But the problem with doing that is you turn into a bit of a ponce. I mean, you're no fun at parties, and you the level of obsession you come up with around lace doilies, the precise angle at which to hang Groot, and the correct way to display a lobster, they become fascinations that no one can get over. Then you become all emo and just sit there and cry because everything's so dull. And it's that balancing act. Do you want the 3 months of insane perpetual riot of sensation, and then followed by an eternity of greyness interspersed with occasional good times, but the perpetual quest for good times? Or do you want to look at what are the other options in the brochure? But just before we do, Big Bad Peter Gaming has super chatted. Any Coke sponsorship? Which Chaos God would you both sell your souls to? Any advice going to first Warhammer 40k tournament? Okay, so which Chaos God would we both sell our souls to? Well, you sold yours to Slaanesh when you got your Header Knights.
Straight away, I did. Yeah.
Yeah. And I don't think I'd be able to give an impartial review, having already plumped for one or the other. Although, given the number of minor contagions I suffer with, I would say I've probably been nabbed by Nurgle. He's probably got dibs on me, so I probably go for Nurgle.
Nabbed by the Nurgle.
Nabbed by Nurgle.
Well,
I've been given a familiar. Hello.
Is it painful?
Any advice? Yeah, his horns in my ear. Any advice going to first Warhammer 40k tournament? Okay, so I don't do tournaments. What I can advise you about is events in general, although I haven't been to many of those in a long time. One of the biggest things I would advise is at the start of the game, you need things to take on the day, like take super glue or glue of whatever sort, because battlefield repairs will be needed. Take things like objective tokens and dice and command point tokens, or some method of tracking your command point tokens, even if it's pen and paper or something like that. My advice for the games is anything that might be a variable, discuss with your opponent before you start. Agree that you're both happy with the terrain as it is, or move it if you want to agree to move it. But things like, is that building defensible? So we're going to say that building's defensible, that one's obscuring, that one's this, that one's that one's the other. Agree about all the sorts of things that you're probably just assuming, because your opponent might be assuming something different. And it's much easier to agree that when there's nothing hanging on it, as opposed to when it comes up and you go, yeah, but it's -1. And they go, no, it's not. And that is less straightforward to have those conversations then. I would also say you will probably, most of the games will be good because you'll be there to have fun with. Some people will be there just to curb stomp, and they will be pretty unpleasant about it. Just get through those games as best you can, them off in the back of your mind, because there's always that guy there, which isn't necessarily a reason to stay away. The rest of your game should be really good if you do happen to encounter that guy. That's my advice. So I'm going to turn to my assistant to pick Khorne, Nurgle, or Tzeentch. Doesn't actually matter. You just need to say one of the words. Khorne. Okay, so Khorne, blood for the blood god, the god of blood, skulls, and in a more Sigmar-y context, also battle. Sometimes they are considered by some to be honourable or ethical. I've heard many War Games Dave talk about Khorne as being honourable, and in that context, he was saying that you know where you are with Khorne. They're coming right at you, screaming that they're going to cut your head off. And that is pretty much where you are with Khorne. So if you're angry, if you're always feeling angry, they're probably quite good for you, because they let you let the rage out, because you just get so angry. And then any source of blood is acceptable. The nice thing with Khorne is that you're so obsessed with killing things for the blood god. I mean, it's not that you can't have a conversation, but when you get the itch, you just want to kill something. But it's quite acceptable to kill Dave, because Khorne doesn't care from where the blood flows. All right, Bob. Doesn't care from where the blood flows, only that it flows. But equally, there's the same rationale for hacking your own legs off and going, Khorne doesn't care. So, note of caution on that one. The plus side, you get a lot of red meat. You get an awful lot of red meat. And if at any point you get really hungry, you just look around for the weakest one, like Bob, slice, chop, 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 meat. And then you can get the barbecue going, and you get all the juices of battle and death, and another skull to polish up and put on your belt. The only drawback is, at some point, you may go, God, we're all really hungry. Go, yeah, we're all really hungry. And then you look round, and everyone's looking at you. And at that point, the last thing you get to really think is, I wonder how I'll taste. You don't get a huge.
I won't wonder that.
Well, what would you wonder? As everyone was about to stab you.
Where they're going to start.
Where they're going to start. What bit they're going to eat first.
Yeah. Yeah.
It's an interesting question.
That's what I'd be wondering.
It is something of a misconception that all the Cornates are absolute psychopaths. They
would Corn waste time in cooking Bob before he ate him, or would he be just like raw, like sushi?
I think very much depends on mood.
Right.
The Red Feast is in some quarters a ritual meal after a defeated enemy has been defeated, and there's very much cooking and rendering of fat and all they're really quite culinary. Yes, the spectrum is quite basic from a Corn point of view, but you get a lot of meat and a lot of. If belly pork's your thing, long pig.
You've got to be worried if you were kind of on the larger side, because they'd eat you.
Very possibly.
They wouldn't take some scrawny no meat on them, people.
No, probably not. But they might gnaw on their bones and just turn their skull into an attractive hat.
Oh, right, okay, yeah, fair enough.
That might be the thing that they did there.
Fair enough.
Yeah.
I get it.
But people who are larger tend to be a little bit more Nurgle oriented, which means they don't tend to cook quite so well because they taste of filth. Filth. So yeah, it's a really good outlet for your anger issues, but you do often have to file your teeth to points, and there is every chance you end up being the first on the spit after the food runs out. So yeah, got to take the rough with the smooth. So onto the filth. I mentioned filth. Filthy Mind. She's definitely a devotee of Slaanesh. Taking the rough with the smooth. Giggle, giggle, giggle. So, Nurgle. Now, Nurgle's an interesting. Nurgle appeals to the jolly Jacktar. I don't know what a Jacktar is. That's some kind of quote I'm remembering from something. I hope it's nothing inappropriate. The jolly, they adore the attention of the grandfather. Every disease is a gift. Every malady is an opportunity. Every bubo is just a new thing to play with. Get stabbed in the gut. Most creatures call that a problem. Oh no, my intestines have fallen out. Wasn't using them. Has anyone got a rope? Yep, we're fine. And very often, your opponents can run up to you and stab you in the chest, expecting a victory strike, and then expose themselves. Ha ha, you're dead. And you're like, yeah, if it was that easy to kill me, someone would have done it already. Because the thing about Nurgle is not only do they rot away and become festering buckets of filth, but they have no reduction in speed. They're like lightning, entirely incongruous. So if you want to lull your opponent into a false sense of security, but have massively bad halitosis and small little gribblies, like this cheeky little fella living in your beard / ribcage / skull, then Nurgle is the one for you. Never feel ill again, or rather feel ill all the time, but never care, because the grandfather loves you and you get to sing and play the bagpipes with demons. Pipes. Yep. And last but by no means least, Z. Oh, yes, Tin Jones, yet again, 5 gifted Say Hi Paul memberships.
Yes, Tin.
Yes, Tin. Big thanks, man. That is amazing as always. Red Lobster time.
Thank you.
I can dance a jig on, and I wonder if he could dance. He could dance Grease Lightning. Go Grease Lightning, I'm burning up the quarter, etc. Lobster dance. Whoop, 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 whoop. Then we come to the last option, our Lord and Master, Zinch, the Lord of Sorcery and Lies. Yes, Zinch lets you in on his secrets. Yes, he does. He lets you fool your neighbor, your brother, your tailor, your tinker, your soldier, your sailor, and your spy. You have more information than they do. Yes, you know how to manipulate, and you can command all the elements. Yes, you see through the mirrors. You pull their strings like a puppeteer. Then all of a sudden, what? Uh-oh, you've been betrayed. It turns out you were a puppet of someone else's grand plan. But that can't be right. I was the puppet master. Zinch was on my side. He told me all the secrets. He gave me all the power. But now, why am I a gibbering heap of tentacles on the floor? Oh, yeah, it was the lies. It was the lies. I served the Lord of Lies. He gave me all this power, but he lied about it. Oh, I've been lied to. Oh, I guess I'll just sit here and mutate. Disadvantage with Zinch from everybody else. Everyone is out for power, more power than anyone else, more than any other devotees of chaos. The want power. But yes, I mean, I'll definitely put him on the bonfire if I get more power. Go and check out the bonfire. You absolutely won't fall on it. More power, more power. What do you mean? I should go and check out the bonfire? Are you sure? There's a power gem in there. Okay. Uh-oh. Yes, the disadvantage of serving the Lord of Lies is they are the Lord of Lies. Hang on, I've got a problem. There's a smear on my spectacles. I need to find my glasses cloth. That's a tissue. That's a lobster. That's a lobster. Where's my glasses cloth gone? Oh, thank you, Crimson.
You can borrow my laptop one.
Okay. So, yeah, to summarise.
I love YMCA.
Slide out. That seems a touch obscure.
It's just a comment.
To summarise.
Love it. I could go on. Well, I couldn't actually because we're not allowed, but thank you.
So, yeah, to summarise, Slaanesh is an awesome 24-hour party until it gets boring, and then everything is boring forever and ever and ever. And you go on trying to do all kinds of crazy stuff just to feel anything. But when you do, whoa! But then it gets boring. Khorne lets you let out all that rage and makes you super battle strong and lets you eat people you've killed, and you never go hungry except when you go hungry, and then you might find yourself on the bonfire. The problem with Khorne is that he doesn't care from where the blood flows. He'll happily throw you into the meat grinder and laugh.
What about the Emperor, Moog says? What about the Emperor? He's a ruinous power.
We'll get to the Emperor. Well, kind of.
Hold that thought, Moog.
Nurgle. practical immunity to any disease, any malady, any degradation. The only problem is you look and smell like a sewer/graveyard party blender forever. And the halitosis is so bad, people really aren't going to... You're not going to be popular at parties. You're just not. And Tzeentch, it's all that power, all the secrets, all the lies, until you realise that someone else was just better at scamming you than you were, at which point you go up in a spectral blender. So choose your poison. They all offer benefits, and those drawbacks, they're a long way away. They'll never happen to me.
Mick says, so a mix of corn and Slanesh. I'd be happy with that. Yes. Now there's a thought.
Well, quite. Chaos likes blenders. There we go. A little bit different, a little bit randomly rabbly and frivolous. The Emperor isn't the Chaos God. He's a very naughty boy. Well, you could argue he's a Chaos God because he's a warp-born entity who garners power for his own purposes. He chooses to believe that his benefits are benefiting mankind. Give it another 100,000 years and it'll be just as corrupt and twisted as all the others. That's my opinion on the Emperor. Now, I think someone mentioned Hashut, who is one of my very, very favourite Chaos Gods. And I would be so happy if they came back to AOS or if they came in the old world. Really angry dwarves that worship bulls and turn to stone and fire insane blunderbusses and it's so cool. And half dwarf, half bull Taurus at centaurs. So I said tonight wouldn't be very coherent. If you didn't believe me, I hope I've demonstrated that I'm normally honest and quite upfront with these things. Any questions?
I haven't got any questions on that, but there are plenty in the Discord.
Shall we mine Discord for the last 20 minutes?
Shall we do it?
Yeah.
Let's do it. Are you going to do the whole hit me thing?
Sorry, can't talk. Dancing.
Okay.
Or hit me, whichever.
No, we better not do that. Okay, so I'm just... Right, okay. Here we go. Immortan Joe. Starts off with bolter to your head. You have to choose one army. This is the only army you will ever be able to build, paint, or play ever again. In any game system, what would you pick?
So I agonized for quite a while over this because I glanced at it and thought, that's going to take some thought. So I did give it some thought. And it's not an easy answer because there aren't the 40k armies. Whilst I do like them all, they tend to move in and out of favor with me. AOS, I don't know that I've been playing AOS long enough or enough to fully commit to one army. So I think the one army that I loved when I was a wee nipper, first learning to play, then an army that I played an awful lot when I got back into 40k, and I've never ever been bored of playing, has a lot of
Adrian can't find Discord.
Okay.
I just wonder if someone could help him. Just
Adrian, so if you're on a, I think it's the same if you're on a device or if you're on a computer. If you go onto the channel homepage, and there's a tab called Community, and on that tab, it's only visible if you're a channel member. So If you're not a channel member, you wouldn't get to see it. So rather, there are posts that are only visible if you are a channel member. And if you scroll down, it's probably about a dozen of the way down. Once you're a channel member, you'll see a post on there with a link to Discord. If you click that link, it should take you to Discord. That's it. It's an invite link. So if you have any trouble with that, this army has the potential for a lot of variety. There's a lot of expanding that could be done, and they are in my favorite color, which is red, and they are the Blood Angels. Never been bored with Blood Angels, so I could quite happily play them and only them for pretty much ever. Although I'm still not convinced I'd get many Primaris Marines. I would still be set pre Cicatrix Maledictum, because the Space Marines were far more interesting and fun then. So there you go, bolted to my head. That's what I'd pick.
Okay. Mick's just asking about the the board that we had at Crimson Ribbon. We had this conversation. Will there be a board for the Crimson Conflux? Like with your little markers and things. And also someone's also asked about points and how many points will it be? Because obviously people are painting, aren't they, and getting ready to come. So, okay.
So board, we started a conversation on that. We didn't reach a conclusion.
Well, I kind of did. Well, what does everybody think? What does everybody? Did everybody? Because everybody seemed to enjoy it last time. We've not got enough time to put a board like that together, because that took probably about 6 months or something.
So, I just don't think there's the time to do one. That's the thing.
But we could do could we do a map? We talked about a map, didn't we?
I don't know. I don't think that's necessarily something we can pass comment on here, because we just haven't decided yet, because there's a time investment in that, and that would mean time being taken away from other things, and we need to have a conversation.
But we'll let you know if you need that.
That'll be in the pack. When the pack is done, it will be in that. The pack has to be done before the tickets go on sale, so that's generally going to,
Mm-hmm. And we are waiting for Sanctuary Games to send some of the pack back to us, because there's some things that their pack we need to put in our pack that's their pack, if that makes sense. Like taking photographs and things on the day and all that kind of thing. So they've got something, we need to combine both packs. So we need to do that pretty soon. And what about points?
What was the question?
Will it be so many points?
So again, details will be in the pack, but at this time, I cannot envisage it being more than 2,000 points.
So if people work on 2,000 points, I think people just want to know where they are.
And I think it's possibly worth, because we've set up a chat channel just for this event, haven't we? Rather than things going to the live stream, because it's not going to be relevant.
I don't think we'd. To be fair, I don't think we'd done it when we put that in. If we can pop them in there, that'd be fabulous. Okay, so we've also got, this is from Sailor Star. Should we have an Imperium Civil War with Firstborn who reject Gulliman on one side and Gulliman on the other? And the last bit of that is, should Black Library release more novels of the Imperium losing battles? I think Civil War, Kev says.
I think an Imperium Civil War would be a very interesting plotline, and I think there are lots of opportunities to do that in the current story. Throughout the history of the Imperium, there have been numberless civil wars fought over philosophical issues, and there's no reason why now it should be any different to then. So I'd be all up for seeing a civil war in the in the Imperium, and how all of that pans out. Whether it would be Primaris versus first generation, I don't know. There are so many options. You could say that it was a Martian fracture with pre-Belisarius on one side and post-Belisarius on another, and by extension, that sort of sucks some of the Primaris Marines into the Belisarius camp, and a lot of the chapters who are close to the Admech into another, and it could grow from there. And yeah, so yeah, I would be up for that. There was a separate second part to that question, wasn't there?
There was a second part. Should Black Library release more novels of the Imperium losing battles?
Yes and no. Yes and no. I think the Imperium do lose battles. They lose a lot of battles. When you're writing an ongoing story, some of the times there will be losses, some of the times there will be victories. It's often difficult to continue the narrative because some of the victories end up in your main characters dead. I think that could make some quite gritty books. The only potential issue with that is whether that actually affects the book's sales, because not everyone wants to read a book with a low ending. But I guess that's part of the challenge of the author. I mean, a lot of the Horus Heresy books are effectively the Imperium losing. Okay, we know the final victory is the Imperium's, even though it plunges them into 10,000 years of god awfulness. But there are a lot of defeats in that. A lot of heroes get killed, and they did a good job of consistently selling that. So I would imagine that's why they're leaning away from that at the moment, because they've done a lot of it. Next.
I'm just laughing at Sanguirini God. Yeah. He's turning normal songs into Warhammer songs. So he's just put something on there that says, please reach out and let him know if there are any songs that you would like him to turn into a Warhammer song. And while he's off at the minute and got plenty of time on his hands, he's going to do it.
Okay, I'll give you a choice of 3.
No, just give him one.
No, I'm going to give him a choice of 3. Du Hast by Rammstein, Dragula by Rob Zombie, and Oblivion by TerraVision. She's looking at me like I'm from a different planet with these songs, but I bet you,
no, I'm not.
These guys know these songs.
No, I'm not. I'm thinking more of. I'd like it. I think that it would be good if you could do one to Mamma Mia. Quite like that idea.
So Crimson, why don't you give him some songs? Because I'm never going to list that.
That's it for me.
Okay. Can you give me the first again?
Yeah, he obviously knows it really well.
I just went too quick. It was Du Hast by Rammstein.
I'm a Barbie girl. I love that one. No, I think there is Mamma Mia, but I think I would like to hear a bit of Beyonce.
You see, they're all pulling that face at you now.
I'm not bothered. I don't care. I can't see him. So I would like a bit of Beyonce, all the single ladies. That's what I'd like in there. If you've got time, obviously. Let's read that.
Okay. Tom Brammer says, there are rumours that Snickrot is getting a new model. Now, I first read that as there's rumours that Slipknot is getting a new model. Which other orc character are like, hang on, what's Slipknot got to do? Oh, Snickrot. There are rumours that Snickrot is getting a new model. Which other orc character from the orc lore should get a model next? Either from a short story or a big character.
This is the nice Tom. Not that the other Tom's not nice, but this is the nice Tom I was talking about earlier on, who we met. I mean, the other Tom's obviously lovely, but this is the Tom.
I'm trying to remember all the old second ed orc characters that never got models. I don't think there's is there a famous orc mech? I don't think so. What is there? Is there a blood axe? A snake bite? Oh, pardon me.
Yeah, you made it. Well done, Adrian.
I think maybe an orc character who doesn't conform to the stereotype of their clan and is a bit of an outcast. So I'm sort of seeing like a snakebite who's really obsessed with his rusty tech guns, or a death skull riding, or an evil son riding a boar, or something pretty incongruous with what you might expect, and they're a bit of an oddity and an outcast for that reason. I think that's how I'd go.
I don't think you're frozen.
There's a cat here.
They will think you're frozen.
I haven't frozen. They can see my fingers doing the finger thing, but there's a cat tail that's now disappeared.
I don't have any more questions in there.
No more questions from Discord?
No more
okie dokie.
questions.
Right. Does anyone want to throw any more questions into the chat before we close? Because we're now. I don't know if people can see from the chat, but Sangregard is saying, so the album is YMCA, We Can Dance If We Want To, Sound of Silence, Do Has, Dragula, Oblivion, Mamma Mia, Barbie Girl, and all the single...
Yes!
Okay.
That's going to give you something to do.
Well, quite.
Keep you out of mischief.
Big D is asking what Eldar unit needs new models the most. Warp spiders. They've got one model, one pose. The model and the pose is okay, but they're all stood like that. That's what I would do for that reason. The others are mostly okay, I think. They don't just look like a second ed single sculpt that's just been pressed out 10 times, which is what the warp spiders do look like, because that is what they are. I don't know if you can hear the sound of purring, but she's now sat at the microphone.
What
and
else
purring.
Needs new models their most? That's another question.
Oh, just that one.
Oh, sorry.
It's all right. Working at an hour and a half a song, that's 13 and a half hours. So Jesus, don't do that to yourself.
He's a demon. He's going for it.
You want me to pick one song, Oblivion, do Oblivion. Okay, I think we should do thank yous. First of all, big thank you to Crimson for her sterling job of focusing me and adminning everything. Thank you.
You're welcome. And we've got thank yous to Super Chats from Mick and Big Bad Peter. Thank you very much. Yestin, as always, 5 gifted memberships. Thank you. And I know Big T and Pupez, I hope I'm saying that right. Pupez took you up on that. Can't see any more on there, but
so
thank you, mate.
Big Bad Peter Gaming donated a a thingy chat as well?
I've just said that.
You just said I can't see any more.
No, I can't see any more people that took him up on the gift.
Oh, right.
If you were listening.
If you were talking, clearly.
Sorry. Moog's in the house tonight and used his 27 months membership chat. And donated 5 memberships as well. Big Bad Peter donated a membership that Tom Bolton took on there, which is great. And Sanguini God used his 2 months membership to comment on the membership chat. Big Bad Peter, 12 months membership. And just a big shout out for the events that are coming up, really, because we haven't mentioned the Paul Fest, but it's in Discord at the minute.
That's a community one, that one, isn't it?
Yeah, Paul Fest 4, The Tale of Paul's Gamers, is on the 16th of September, organised by the lovely Mick and I think Second Born as well. I think they're doing it joint together. Is that right, Mick? I think you're doing it together. So that should be a really good day. A really good day. And the 16th of September, that's 16th September, there's a Warhammer World trip. I don't know who's going to that, but that's on the 9th of April. I don't know whether that's in the main.
I think that's been cancelled.
Oh, has it? Oh, I don't know. I just got it from in there. Has it been cancelled?
I saw something. I think it was maybe yesterday.
Oh, so probably just check that out. Oh, yeah. Mick says I'm right.
I think it's closed on that day. They've decided to close. No. Yeah.
Did they know you were going?
I think the tail. I don't know. Wolf Corgi's sorting it.
Yeah, Wolf Corgi. Yeah, message Mike. He's arranging that. And the 27th and 28th of May for the Crimson Conflux. If anybody does want any hotels or anything, let me know, because the more we can get, obviously, the more chance I've got of a discount on that. And more information will be coming out about that. Any questions, stick them in the chat and we'll respond as quickly as we can. Ticket sales will not be long before they are.
It's going to be at least a couple of weeks, though, because it's a couple of weeks before we're meeting up to try and sort the pack out.
Week after next. Yeah. So that's it from me. I hope I've not missed anyone out.
Doesn't look like it. Well, on that happy note, thank you all for joining us. Thank you once again to Crimson and to the sleeping furball in front of me, and the stack of lobsters in the corner. All right, take care, everyone. Have a good one, and we will see you in the next one. Say bye, Crimson.
Bye, Crimson.
Bye.